So I was born and grew up in New York City, and I lived there. I still live there. I've lived there for my whole life in New York City. I went to St. Hilda's and St. Hugh's School, which was a private school run by nuns for 14 years, which is some kind of record, I guess. I was there. I found it very comfortably there, and I never had the troubles that Cindy and Christian had with schools, and they left St. Hilda's at about 6th or 7th grade. And I was pals with Alan Saly, who was also a lifer like me. He was there for also for 14 years. I think he was there from nursery to the end. My parents were Greek American, and my father was born in Chicago and raised in Chicago and Detroit, and my mother was born in Athens. They were very supportive, very liberal, and they let us do what we wanted. Mostly, we ran around and shot movies and did stuff. And my father took a great interest in our movies. He was always felt they should be more less violent and more intellectual, I guess. But he enjoyed Christian's style. We had screenings of the movies at my parents' house. My father was in advertising, and he was a real wordsmith. And he also had a store called Greek Island. So we got along well, and they were fairly present. And my father did. I did with my father one of our early tape shows, a pre-TVR show called The Lethal Camera. We had a party one night, and we did sort of a murder mystery where all the guests played suspects, and my father played the detective. That became the basis for the tape shows we did in later years. It was the first one we did, actually. Though Christian and Alan and Cindy weren't in it, but we took the idea of a 15-minute tape show from that. We also went to Greece in the 70s. Christian and I and Alan went there, and Christian and I went to London together in one year, and we traveled around. We had been joking for a long time about doing a revival of our old movies, the Henry movies. We said we could be like, we had one scenario where there were the four of us, or three of us, Cindy, Saly, and me, in wheelchairs, where we would be rolling around the room and we'd be aged. And we thought that was a funny idea. But then I said, why don't we do it? I mean, why don't we make a movie? And that was Flowers Are for Funerals. Cindy and I collaborated on it. And Alan at first refused to appear in it. He said he would appear in it for if we gave him $5 million and promised not to release the movie, show the movie only 7 times, which I couldn't really accept as a term for a movie. And he eventually agreed to be in it, but he would not have his name mentioned. So it was a lot of fun. He called it a goof. It was a goof. It was fun to be together with the old gang, and we did a lot of fun stuff. Christian really enjoyed doing it, and Christian had been shooting movies for me at Habitat. So he'd been connected to me we've been doing that for a while. We eventually made the movie, and Alan eventually appeared in it because he saw how much fun it was, and he saw we really wanted him to do it. And he was great. Everyone was great. It was a fun movie to do. I always like to call Cindy, Saly, and Doherty the friends of my youth, the steadfast friends of my youth, and the youthful friends of my old age. And they'll always be there for me, I think. And we'll be there. I'll be there for them.